You know what I mean? So
There is an urgency on the salvation. There's an immediacy on the salvation. What happens after salvation? Once you're saved, now what?
what's after that? I don't know. Time will tell. You know, I make music off of inspiration and what happened and what's happening and what could happen. So I feel like the next album would be from September 30th on. You know what I mean? Once it dropped on the 29th and everything like that, boom. Now what? You know what I mean? So I don't know. You know, I don't know if I'm saved after this album. You know, I use the music as my salvation. And that's the whole theme of it. You know, that's the whole theme of it. People ask me all the time through interviews. First question, yo, the title. What does it mean, the salvation? You know, how'd you get it? Whatever, whatever. And the first thing people would think, he's saving hip-hop or he's saving New York. It wasn't either one of those. You know, it's cool that people thought that, like, yo, you're going to save New York or you're going to save hip-hop with the salvation. That's cool, you know what I mean? But that wasn't my intention at all. Like, that wasn't the goal of it, to try to boast and gloat and be like, oh, you're putting all that on the shoulders. That's not it at all. The title is a play on what the whole theme of the album is. If you have to sum the album up in one word, it's temptation. The whole album is about temptation, from my interpretation to For What It's Worth to Dear Whoever to Easy to Fly. The whole album is about temptation. And the salvation comes into play with, once you're faced with these temptations and they're sitting in front of you, whether they're good or bad, how do you make that decision? Like, what saves you from giving in, or what makes you go with it? And then when you do, if you give in, what's the pros and cons? Or if you don't give in, what's the pros and cons? You take a record like For What It's Worth, and you say, okay, the temptation is you got a regular job and you hate it and you're getting paid peanuts, but everybody you know around you is pumping, and they're getting it, and it's right there for you. They're inviting you every day into that life. What's going to save you from going into that? So you listen to the song and you see the decision I make. I don't give in, but then what happens? You get fired from the job. So now what? Was that decision the right decision? I'm not here to say what's right or wrong. I'm not a preachy dude. I'm not a conscious dude, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it. My hands is dirty, just as dirty as the next man. I done did a lot of this and a lot of that, you know what I mean? But the album is really just about temptation. And at the end of the day, what saves you from giving in, or what makes you give in, and what's the up and down on both sides. So to sum it up, the music is my salvation, you know what I mean? You hear Dear Whoever where I'm talking about the notebook, and you know, the whole time you think I'm talking to a girl, and at the end you hear I'm arguing with my notebook. Because it's like, yo, I'm at the point where I should have gave this shit up a long time ago. It ain't get me nowhere. You know, that's the theme of that record. You know what I mean? Which leads into the next, which leads into Necessary Evils, and just keeps going. You know what I mean? That's all a book. So that's what the title of the salvation comes from. Like, the music is my salvation. So when you listen to it, whether you on a block pumping, or you got a 9-to-5, or you an ex-con, you're a single mother, whatever it is, what's your salvation when you listen to it? Like, you know what I mean? So that's what the title is.